வணக்கம் எல்லாரும். உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் தானே எனக்கு நல்லா தமிழ் கதைக்க மாட்டேன். ஆனால் நான் கதைக்க முதல் இது நான் சொல்ல தேவை. இது எங்களுக்கு தமிழ் ஆக்களுக்கு இன எழுப்பினால் இது எங்களுக்கு ஒரு திக்கு நாள் இல்லை. ஒரு திக்கு நாள்ன்ற அது விசர் கதை. இன்றைக்கு நாங்கள் வந்து நாங்கள் தமிழ் ஜெனோசைடுக்கு தான் நினைச்சுக்கொள்ளுங்க. நான் இங்கிலீஷில் தான் கதைக்கலாம். ஏன்னா நான் தமிழில் கதைச்சா உங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் விசிற தான் போகும். 5 years ago, we protested on the streets of world capitals to call to an end to the bloodshed of our sisters, our brothers, our mothers, and our fathers. 5 years ago, when the bombs dropped on Venni, we came together. We left our jobs, we left our classrooms to brave the winter and unite as one people, as one nation, as one movement in defense of our people in Tamil. And when the world stood idly by 5 years ago, it was you and your families that stood in defense of a risen people and our struggle for freedom. Today, even though our people live under the complete military occupation of the Sri Lankan state, they are denied the right to mourn what happened to them 5 years ago. So today, our gathering here is not just an act of political resistance. It is an act of solidarity with our people in the north and the east. And I want to make this clear. Even though they occupy our land today all across the north and the east, we as a Tamil people, we live in the four corners of this world, and we will surround their island until our land is free. Today we struggle in solidarity with our people for the very survival of our people as a nation. We are struggling for the very survival of our people against Sri Lanka. Our struggle is against genocide, and our objective is nothing more than the liberation of Tamil. So Rajapaksa is not my problem only. He's not just your problem. Rajapaksa is not our only problem. The Sri Lankan state is our problem today. So our task moving forward as a movement of people in Toronto and around the world is to delegitimize that state structure. Our task today is to delegitimize the unitary structure of Sri Lanka itself. We need to make sure that all of our political advocacy continues to focus on the three fundamental demands: that the Tamil people are a nation, we have a homeland, and we have the right to self-determination. And we should use any tactics that are available to us, whether they be economic sanctions or diplomatic sanctions, to isolate Sri Lanka in the international community. Now last year before you, I stood here very publicly and I defended the LTT, and I defended the LTT's armed struggle. And the reason I did that is because for people who would refuse to bend their knee to Sri Lanka, for those of us in our homeland who refused to accept the oppression that Sri Lanka was committing against us, for those of us who refused to turn a blind eye to the genocide that was going on against our people, we had no alternative. For 30 years, the LTT supported the people, and for 30 years, the people supported the LTT. And it was only the LTT in the entire history of the Tamil national struggle that gave our people strength, that gave our people sagacity, that gave our people fortitude, and gave our people above all else dignity, to show Sri Lanka that they could not rule Tamil on their own terms. And so today I stand before you today and I continue to publicly defend the LTT, and I will always defend the LTT, because without them, we would not be here today. Although Sri Lanka controls every single quarter of civilian life in the north and the east, we will not give up the struggle. Even though our people today cannot resist within the island, we will not let go of their hand. Because if we are to give up the struggle, then we will give up our own people. And let me tell you something, sisters and brothers. Sri Lanka's recent ban on the diaspora shows me one thing. They are afraid of you. And what exactly is it that Sri Lanka is afraid of? They are afraid of your unity. They are afraid of your political strength and your political courage to not let go of the objective of an independent and sovereign Tamil. Sri Lanka is afraid of you because you refuse to surrender hope, and you refuse to give up the struggle for peace and justice. So sisters and brothers, today we are not here to mourn. Today we are here to stand up and to resist against Sri Lankan genocide. So in Toronto, let us make sure that they hear us in Colombo, because I know for sure today there must be at least one Sri Lankan agent that here is amongst us that's going to be taking a picture of this. So sisters and brothers, join me. Let's make sure they hear us in Colombo. Free, free, Tamil Eelam! Free,